What's up, Henryman TV? This is Fortune Formula 101, and in today's video, pain is power. I'm sure you've heard this before, no pain, no gain. I didn't put it on the board because I don't want to sound cliche. But how exactly is pain power, and how are you going to benefit from it? My name is Felipe, your host, and I'm here to teach Gen Z how to become more successful entrepreneurs in the 21st century. Starting with ego death. Ego death is the first step to this. You have to admit it's not working. You have to admit that whatever you're doing in your life right now is not benefiting you. It's not working and you screwed up. Once you understand that it's not working, you have to say and understand these two sentences. I don't know everything, but I can learn anything. I may not have all the knowledge in the world, but I do have all the ability to learn a skill and to master a craft. You stop numbing your pain. Blank helps me forget. No, it doesn't. I don't care what this blank is. I don't care if this is gooning. I don't care if this is a substance. I don't care what this is. Blank helps me forget. Wrong. Because I don't need to forget. I don't need to forget at all. No memories in your brain that you have to forget. Even the baddest, most grotesque, most grueling memories, you still have to remember them because they provide some form of value. Once you realize I don't need to forget a memory, I don't have to numb my pain, and I can learn any skill, you then understand that I'm here to serve something greater than myself, given by God. A purpose. Now, God can mean anything. Okay, I'm not a religious person. It means something different to everyone. You don't even have to be religious. It's good if you are. Maybe we don't understand it, but it's there. What are my strengths so I can serve that purpose? I need to be useful. You cannot be useless. Guaranteed joy, women, children, and animals. And you as a man, you don't receive this, okay? If you're not useful, you suck. You need to be useful, but not liked. Okay, Jack Doherty is not useful, but he's liked and he makes money. And I guess you could argue that that's one way to make money. But I would disagree with you. I don't think you should make your living off being useless or being a tool. Like Leafy is here, Rice them, all these other people that have done nothing to contribute to the world. The world owes you no understanding. It's gonna kick you down to your knees and you're gonna fall 1,000 times and it's gonna beat your ass to the ground. Don't expect to get any explanation or context from why you keep getting screwed. When you finally break past the ego, you humble yourself in pure humility, you end up in transmutation. You're going to transmute all of your pain into emotional redirection. Let me just write this right here. Heartbreak becomes fuel. Anxiety becomes awareness. Shame becomes integrity. Insecurity becomes identity. These are all words we associate with negative traits and negative definitions. But the problem is, these over here, okay, are all positive. These are all positive things that all correlate with these. It's how you see it in your brain. If you want to stay an NPC or a loser, that these things change. Right now, you're in a state of urgency, like urgent care. Why? Because you're in this state of rock bottom. So I want you to imagine that life is here and everything's above there, but you're here. Your energy has to become focused. 5-hour energy is focus. You know what that is? Okay, great. So energy becomes focus. That's all kinds. I mean, the sexual, the physical, the mental, the spiritual. The no-fap, should you do it? Sure, we can make a whole video about it. I'm not going to go into detail. When you're in the process of doing it, you realize that every time you get rejected, your authority is only being proven more. Because every time you get kicked to the curb, what this is saying is that people don't respect your authority because your value has not been proven or demonstrated properly. Underdog will always win. Why? Because the pain of rock bottom and this whole process, if people don't go through this, they cannot become great. So if you're here, you're destined for the greatness. If you never reached here, you're not destined for the greatness. The rejection only proves your authority, and failure suddenly becomes framing. Every time you make a mistake, okay, that's framing for success. You got two products and one of them sells better than the other. One makes less money, one makes more money. You track that like if you have a business, and the one that fails or does less, you learn what to improve on and what to change so it can either become more successful or you scrap. Solitude then becomes success. Loneliness, one-on-one time, spending time with yourself, being self-aware, all of that becomes success. You don't need mosquitoes, you don't need noise in your ear, you don't need distraction. Solitude becomes golden time. And you should cherish it as much as possible to make yourself better. Because once you finally understand the value of solitude, you realize that every single time you were betrayed, betrayal then becomes power. Because remember, you need to be useful. But all those people who betrayed you when you weren't useful, return to you now because you are useful. I know a guy who has a great restaurant, and he makes the greatest food ever. And he is a great chef, but he is an asshole, and I don't like it. I know people who still eat there. I know people who still purchase his product. I know people who still give him money and they hate his guts. Why? Because he's useful, not liked. And that's just one example. Okay? It doesn't matter what industry you're in, but this applies. And this is why betrayal suddenly becomes your greatest power, and you're going to see it down the line. I hope this video helps you understand how if you're at this spot right now in your life, you're going to go all the way back up to the top and further. But you have to get this down and understand how this works so you can become more successful in your daily ventures.